Again, welcome everyone. My name is Paul Stubbs. I'm a Director of Product Marketing for AI in Redmond. And with me is John Paulo. We work together on a number of technologies. When we think about AI, we think about cognitive services, a set of 30 APIs that allow your applications to hear, see, speak, and understand. Bot framework, Azure Bot Service, thinking about how to build conversational UIs. We think about machine learning, right? How to take structured data and provide intelligence. And we also focus on deep learning, so Cognitive Toolkit, how to take unstructured data. And we also focus on AI solutions for dynamics, which they announced. So we cover all of these areas. John Paul and I focus more on the cognitive services side and the bot side of the equation. So we're going to show you some demos. We also will be downstairs. But when we think about AI and we think about learning, we think about data that applies to it, which is why we have data and AI downstairs, because data is the way that we learn, right? If you think about how you learn as a child or as a human, you learn through experience. And so the more experiences that you have, the more you learn, or the more you know, presumably. And so the more data that you have, the more that we can train and understand, and that's why you'll start seeing Microsoft and you'll start seeing messaging come up around data and AI together, because it's two sides to the intelligence equation and how we think about bringing AI together. And so we'll show you some demos. We have some more cool demos downstairs. We're going to do this talk again later this afternoon, so we'll have more time to go through things. But also, we think about bots and the conversational side of the platform. And conversation and bots and cognitive services go together, because when you think about the bots and the bot framework in particular, it's really just about the messaging infrastructure and plumbing of building conversational UI. Your bot still has to do something intelligent. There still has to be a brain behind that bot, and the brains behind the bots are usually cognitive services, enabling our bots to understand that they can see, enabling what we say, being able to translate what we talk about into 60 different languages. And ultimately it comes down to this, which really is about amplifying human ingenuity, right? When we think about AI, unlike the electric car guy, you're familiar with him, right? Where all he thinks about is this concept of singularity. We think about AI as how can it augment and help human ingenuity. It'll never be AI solving cancer. It'll always be a doctor with AI making better diagnoses, right? It'll never be AI by itself solving your supply problems. It's always going to be some human involved, some human in the loop that's using AI to augment their capabilities. And this really becomes the foundation and the principles that we build everything at Microsoft on. Are you ready there, John Paulo?
Nearly. If you can talk 1 second about the pillars, and then I've got the demo.
Okay, so we divide up into these 4 pillars as 4 sort of general buckets of categories. The first one is intelligent agents, right? This is Cortana. This is having a smart agent that knows things about you. It knows your schedule, it knows your behaviors, it knows the things that you like, and those things are transparent to you to choose and to see what it knows about you. But it's also proactive. It says, hey, you should leave now for this meeting you have downtown because we know traffic is bad. And hey, I'm looking for a restaurant and I know what type of restaurants you like. These are all proactive things that an intelligent agent can do. You can extend intelligent agents, Cortana, by building a bot using the bot framework. When you build a bot with a bot framework and turn on the Cortana channel, we call those skills. So you can build skills for Cortana using the bot framework. So that's the first pillar. The next pillar is around application. These are the things that we do internally that Microsoft uses AI to build intelligence. And so you'll see things like the presentation translator that will translate your live PowerPoint presentations into 60 different languages as you talk. It's the Outlook dictation feature that allows you to talk and do your email. It's the ability for PowerPoint to automatically add alt text to your images. So when you drag the image into your PowerPoint slide, it automatically says, kitten on the beach or whatever the picture is.
And
right?
I can even show that if you want right now that my machine starts to work. So you see right now the PowerPoint. And so this is when we say infusing AI into the applications. We discussed about it in a session today. Think about adding productivity to users, even sometimes without noticing that there is AI behind the scenes. So here, this is just the presentation we're currently showing you. And we've got, if you click here, you've got the ability to present a slideshow in which you can directly start subtitles, just here. So I'm going to speak, and technically, so I'm using the PC, so we'll see how it goes, but it's going to ask me, hey, do you want to start the subtitles in English and have automatic translation of whatever I say in English, and it's going to be written with subtitles in English? Or as I've got an Italian name and a French accent, because I'm French, I'm going to start to speak in French and see how it goes, fingers crossed, with automatic translation in English. Nous allons commencer à présenter Microsoft Translator pour avoir différentes informations.
And so he's translating.
Je vais essayer de parler en français et voir si je suis capable de trouver un café, car j'adore le café, je suis français. Et je suis également intéressé pour parler d'intelligence artificielle, donc au mieux nous pourrions parler de café et d'intelligence artificielle.
So he's translating and he's speaking in French. On my phone, my iPhone, I have the Microsoft Translator app. I scan that barcode, which is dynamic every time you start the PowerPoint. I'm following along in English or any of the 60 languages that I like to follow along in. You can follow along as well. And so Klingon is the best. It's the best one to demo because nobody knows whether it's right or wrong, right? But you could follow along in Spanish or Chinese or Russian or whatever and do that. And it's that easy to spin up a conversation using cognitive services. And so this is an example of Microsoft using our own tools and our own AI to infuse AI into our own products. And the learning from those engineers go back into our engineering and AI organization, which is already 6,000 engineers just doing AI by themselves. And then you add in all the office engineers building AI as well.
So what you've seen also before is that there was a QR code, and technically up to 500 people can directly use and see the translation in the language they want. Of course, they can see English to English and watch what's happening in real time while we're currently speaking. And the last element, which I love, is extremely interesting, is that you can have this translation. I can say French, English, but if I do English to English, just for your information, there is this element, customized speech recognition, which is basically going to look into the full document, and if you've got complex words like technical words, chemical components, anything you want to put, even your name, which could be complex, it's Bataglia on my side, so the system wouldn't recognize that. It's basically going to read into the document, catch that, and whenever you're going to present and say something which is close enough to the name, Bataglia, it will automatically write the right thing because it will have read what's inside the document. So think about how we're doing that, and it's not only Office 365, you can have that also in Dynamics and other services we're currently building to ship AI more and more.
And this is the case where you can also, if there are things you're going to say during the presentation but aren't actually on the slides, it'll also go through and add custom speech to your speaker notes. So if you can put all your technical terms in your speaker notes, things that you say during your presentation will also be translated nicely.
Which is good when we're currently having meetings, because at the end of the meeting you can have all the conversation automatically written. Which is there. Anyway, shifting gears. So it was one of the, give me 1 second. Okay, we're just here about the different.
So we were on applications, and now you're going to talk about AI solutions?
Very quickly. So we've got on the other side these AI solutions. Let me take away this translation because I will start reading the translation and then I stop speaking and just read what I say, and then it becomes weird. So for third pillar are related to these AI solutions. Think about how we're relying on the partner ecosystem to have these vertical solutions, how we're providing also to you different templates, documents. You've got the Cortana Intelligence Gallery, which is basically a huge gallery of templates in which you can put together the data management, ingestion, data pipeline, machine learning, or so cognitive services, and have everything with one single click to put all the services together and to have these kind of end-to-end solutions at your disposal as a template. And yesterday, Satya in the keynote announced this kind of finished or comprehensive solutions we've been working on, especially on customer service with HP, which was present in the video. I can provide you the link after. And think about that as putting one step further in providing this kind of end-to-end experience, putting the platform pieces together and discussing with partnership with customers to have this kind of deep solutions leveraging all the platform, which leads to the last pillar, which is the AI platform.
Yeah, so the AI platform is really the most important part, because it's really, It's the tools and services that you will use to build all of the AI things that you've seen us demonstrating. So it's the cognitive services, it's machine learning, it's the bot framework, it's deep learning with the Cognitive Toolkit, right? And these are all the tools and techniques that you're going to use to build our services.
So I was good because we said we just presented one slide and we kept on that slide and now we're having that. Oh, this is so happy. You know what? If you want to be less old, I just do.
So again, this is using vision APIs, right? To look at you and to see your emotion.
Like that for an hour. So here, the idea was to say, okay, we've got the platform, we've got cognitive services. To what extent we can tie things together to have this kind of consistent experience? One of them is basically using face tracking, face recognition. You've got age, gender. You've got also the emotions at neutral. If I'm super happy, hopefully there will be happiness which will come. And you can see below here all the emotion which is happening, and it's pretty positive. And if I'm super bad like that for 5 minutes.
And here we have his ID, right? So it's not just recognizing a person, it's recognizing Gianpaolo. If he walked away and came back, the count would still be 1. It'd still be his ID. And in fact, with a single image, he can actually add himself.
So yeah, the interesting point. So I have 3 unique faces because as it's going very quick and I'm relying on the camera here and I'm moving and maybe this finds a face here and there, sometimes it evolves from 1 unique face to 2 or 3. The interesting aspect, as you mentioned, is that Face API is able to provide that, but also you can train the Face API by saying, you know what, I am Gianpaolo, this is my face. So let me show you how it works. We've got a face identification element. I'm going to add my name. And it's going to look into Bing image, another API of cognitive services. And there is this face, which is me. But this is me long time ago, so I feel depressed every time I do that because it's starting to not being able to recognize me anymore. So I will say, oh, no, it's okay, let's not take that one. And I'll take this. Is there my face somewhere? Yeah, this one. Taken a couple of years ago. So I'm training, done. I used 1 image and I trained it saying, hey, this image is Gianpaolo Battaglia. And then if I come back, you want to test how you feel today? No, you first.
Come.
You look like 40, and then it's me, and when it's me, yeah, I've been recognized at 54, 66. Keep in mind that there is the backlight, which can cause issues, and the quality of camera is very important.
No excuses.
Thank you. You're bad. And so I'm still recognized, so I'm okay with that. And then we can go one step further about the ability to recognize people. Let me take away my face again, here. And if it goes out, then I'm not recognized anymore. I'm again just Face ID 3C15. So then we've been discussing with customers in different areas, everything related to retail, lounge. We had also even banks saying, hey, can you create this kind of customized experience for users when they come in front, they see something which change based on who you are. And we had things like these kind of intelligent kiosks in which you come in front of the camera here and it takes a picture and say, oh, you know what, based on the fact that today you look like 36, your inner dream is to have this awesome cordless power drill kit. But of course, if you've coming with other folks like children, so don't tell that to my wife because she will be angry. But I'm going to try to find a picture of my daughter. Whenever I find her, okay, here, I do that. Is that going to identify with the camera? Come on, little. It's then all about the light of the camera and the ability for the camera to recognize it. Come on, no. There is too much shadow. I'll take another one. Will that work? Yes. Don't move. Yes, 2 people, more or less, very quickly, and it says, oh, you know what? It's recommending this very expensive adventure playground, which is, of course, perfect because children have this power of pressure to put you in buying awesome stuff. But what if the system was also able to understand not only what it sees, but also what you say? And so if I just said, I think this is very expensive. So 2 things are happening at the same time. First one is that you've got speech to text, and the second aspect is text to sentiment analysis. So here we've been combining already 3.5 APIs because we've got also emotion in a kind of consistent experience. And then, of course, this is just one of the possibilities of how we can make, have interesting insights into that. You could think about language capabilities in which we're going to combine what's happening in the news as well as sentiment analysis to know what are the positive and negative articles. So let's do Ignite, for example. And it's going to take all the latest articles about Ignite. So we've got, hey, Microsoft Ignite, and you see that there are positive articles here. And if you go down, you've got neutral and then negative articles. Sometimes you've got some negative things. We're just looking into the headlines because we want to do a quick demo. But usually you would need to go in the full article and start to analyze the full way, but same way, looking at the full text and then doing the sentiment analysis and identifying if the article is positive and negative. And the last element is that if I do Orlando, maybe there will be more things here. I want to have, okay, you've got everything. So best of Orlando, Orlando tourism, how to help Orlando. Then you go here and then you see, yeah, usually there are problems. My boss is dead. So things like pretty negative. And the interesting element is that you've got the keywords then on the left about what we're talking about. Of course, Orlando, but there is about Chicago boot spots, custody, new growth area, and so you can easily extract the key phrases. We had that for lots of companies who were just wanted to have the pulse of their brand or what was happening in the news about a company or another company, even stock price or things like this.
And so what you should be seeing now is this pattern of cognitive services as a set of 30 REST APIs. You can use any language, any platform to get started. Just go to azure.com/cognitive. They're free to get the keys and get going. And you can easily build and start stitching together all of these AI building blocks to make really creative scenarios.
The last element, if you've got, again, 2 minutes, was to say, okay, but what if we're able to take the cognitive services together and embed that with a bot to have this kind of end-to-end experience, but not just a bot which says what's the weather or what you can do, but really about how having more information. So we had this kind of insurance bot demo, which is a chatbot in which you can say, hey, hi, and hopefully the bot will reply to me thanks to the connectivity. I say I can do whatever you want, and you can ask the basic questions, you know, like, as it's for a new car and you want car information, you could even say, where are you located in headquarters, and have the same question, simple answer. By that, we're using a service which is called Q&A Maker, in which you basically put all the questions and answers, and you've got a good web service on an output with all the knowledge base to provide these answers. But here, as I had a new car, I'm doing just to say, hey, I need a quote, so I need insurance for my new car. I hope you can see the screen like that. I will open it. And of course it says, you know what? Okay, insurance, but for what? Because of course I think about car, but it could be for automotive, property, or even life insurance. So I'm going to select car.
And again, this is a bot built with the bot framework. It's using cognitive services to power all of these kind of intelligent things. This particular example is built on Dynamics 365 as sort of the back end for it, but could have been any platform.
So it say, okay, of course, what's your name, what's your PIN, putting the information, and then it's going to connect to the CRM database to find if there is a Gianpaolo Battaglia who's currently having an account with us. Of course, here as it's a demo, we reduce all the 50 different questions with social security number, where do you live, who's your children, blah, blah, blah. So an interesting point, based on the fact that in the system I've got a daughter who's born in 2000, it says naturally, okay, you know what, in the United States you can drive starting 16, we'll cut, I'll go to the end. Okay. I say just yes, and it will just ask me one thing, which is what's the make of the car? Because I need to provide you a quote if you tell me what car you have. So I'm going to put here the make. I will say Ford Fusion 2016. And then it will ask one weird thing. Do you have a picture of the car? Which is totally useless when you ask for a quote. More useful after a year when you smash the car against a tree. But here I'm going to put a car picture just for you showing that. And instead of putting a car as I've got dumb thumbs, I'm just going to put that, which would be more related to Orlando. Because you know you can miss things. And by the fact that the bot is also using computer vision, it says, hey, it looks like Daniel Radcliffe sitting on a stage to me. Please don't try to fool me, put a car. And I say, oh, okay, sorry bots, I will put a car. So I'm putting the car, but I'm a dreamer, I'd love to have an increase, so I'm going to put that, which is not exactly a Ford Fusion. However, with custom vision service, you can also customize your own image classifier. And now the bot says, you know what, that doesn't look like a sedan. Are you really sure you want to use this picture? So, okay, you know what, no. and I will put the right car. And we reach the end of that bot. So let me just do that. I will put that. I'll put a real something looking like a Ford Fusion. And with that, the bot has everything to make the quote and to provide the price.
Okay.
So it's going in 1 second to say, okay, based on the information, if you had any tickets before in CRM, here is the price. It's going to come, and it says something like, based on my estimates, $116.25 per month. What do you think? And you could say, okay, this is awesome, but you could also say, this is way too high. I hate you, or something like that. And with text analytics, we're able to understand the sentiment. And this is what's interesting. The bot says, I understand, I really want to make it work. Let me try to find a real customer agent. And this is all about this kind of empowering human ingenuity. Now we've got a real agent, which is going to do the last mile, having all the information into the CRM data. We've got the CRM, but they say we need to stop.
Anyway, we're being kicked out, so thank you.
And having all the information behind the scenes.
Before we get the hook. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.